it takes a lot from a lot of people to make a man into a priest. Like, it is no small thing. It takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears from a lot of people to make it priest. And if it's done right, you know, and I've been the recipient of that. Basically, I came, you know, I did my discernment, and I came to the Diocese of Boise, and I said, all right, I think God's calling me to be a priest. And then from there on, they just gave me what I needed to make that happen. There are people, there's expertise, certainly money, certainly support, certainly prayers. Like, that's just for years, so that I could work on myself the whole time. So I was kind of going in like, okay, you know, the Lord's going to be there regardless of what I feel or think or anything. Like, the sacrament, if it's given to me, then I've received it. You know, that's the beauty of the faith and the beauty of the sacraments. It's not dependent on my emotions, right? Like, if it happens, something great, amazing happens, so be it, you know. But if not, we're still equally good. So I kind of went in thinking that for a lot of guys, it's the Litany of Saints. I've heard numerous guys say during the Litany of Saints, they feel profound grace, the movement of grace, whether through memories, imagination, words from the Lord, things like that. I go down for the Litany of Saints, and I forgot that my car keys are still in my pocket. I forgot to take them out. So the whole time during the Litany of Saints, I'm just thinking about how much pain I'm in, which at first I was like, oh man, I'm so unholy. But then I was just kind of like, you know, that's life, you know? Like, it made me laugh. I was kind of chuckling down there. I was like, I kind of can't wait until this is done so I can get back up and get off my keys. But so, you know, that was the kind of the funny thing. But then, like, as soon as the bishop put his hands on me, on my head, I knew there was something different. I mean, I knew immediately. It's hard to describe, but it was like, oh yeah, this is for real. Like, undoubtable. Like, it was something. And then, I mean, one of the really big things too after that was, for me, that was very profound, was putting my hands in the bishop's hands, and he puts the sacred oil and he anoints my hands. And I just had the most distinct sense, while I could see these things were attached to my arms, which were attached to my body, that even with seeing that these were not my hands. I remember thinking in my brain, those are not my hands. And it wasn't like a bad, evil thing, obviously. It was like those things are attached, Christ's hands are attached to my body, you know? And it wasn't even necessarily that I was thinking like, oh, that's Jesus. It was just like, these are not my hands. These look like hands and they're on my body, but they're not my hands. That's the best way I can describe it. While he was putting the oil. And it was just like, wow, that's amazing. You know, and all that with like no expectations of like any of that happening. So I was like, okay, there it is, you know? And then I'd say the final moment was when they brought me up to sit with the priests. I mean, that was very powerful. I felt like seeing all these priests that I've been looking up to for years and years, and some of whom have been priests for decades, some that are young but still very good. And it felt like maybe somewhat like what like an MLB or NFL player feels like going out onto the field for the first time. You're like, I can't believe I'm actually on the same field with these guys. Like, I should be asking for their autograph, not on the same field, you know, like, that was a very powerful moment for me too. I basically went to full-time graduate school without a job for 7 years. That's amazing. Who gets that kind of opportunity? Who gets that without going deeply, deeply in debt, right? Like ridiculously in debt. And so I got that. And so now, as a recipient of that, I can just give that. And that's due to the people who have given these gifts to the diocese, right? The ICA. Is like, that's one of the places that their money is going, is funding the education of a priest, which is very expensive. And so I just like, to the end of my days, like, I'll have that. I've been given that by the people of God in Idaho. And I hope to be able to make it worth their while, you know. And I think it's a good return on investment, because, you know, I hope to die standing up, is what I say. You know, like, I hope I minister until I'm dead, you know. So gosh, and the sacraments and counseling and just being present to people is all coming from that. And so I'm thankful. There's really no words I could say that would be adequate, that would be proper, but it's certainly it's a great sacrifice, and there's a great reward to it.